let me show you how I printed, smoothed, and painted this sick Iron Man helmet from Marvel Rivals. And I'm making this helmet because of Commander here wanted me to make it. And let's get to the files. Files are from Dio3D. They're pretty nice files, and $30 is a pretty good price, so buy them and start printing. Just a quick note, in the middle of the helmet, the main part of the helmet, Bambu Lab's going to generate a bunch of supports in the middle, and it'll take like 3 more hours. So I just painted support removal on the spots, and that shaved up a lot of filament and the time it took to print it. Also, for the people who are wondering, I did print all of this on an A1, and I did not cut anything, so you can totally print everything on an A1. Okay, so now that we have the file from Dio3D, I printed it out. I used a PLA Pro, I'm pretty sure, and it turned out pretty good. There's 11 pieces to it. This is just the main 3, and it uses 10x2 magnets, which I had to get. But it's pretty good. One feature that I really liked, and I was going to just use LED cosplay eyes, but they have this iframe, and you paint this part black, and then you put it in the faceplate like this. And there's 2 types of eyes. You have these mesh eyes, and you have just these solid eyes. Can't see through them. And I printed both them for when I'm wearing them. You just pop the eyes in. It just fits really nice. And when I'm just wearing them, I can just use the mesh eyes, and you can kind of see through them. But it's pretty good. It's more thinner than other meshes. And the solid mesh, I'm just gonna paint it solid blue, and I think I'll mostly just use this for display. It'll look good on my shelf. And yeah, so that's a cool feature. I really like this helmet, and now all we have to do is I'm gonna sand it. Probably gonna start with 120 grit, because since it turned out okay, there's no real rough spots on the other the main back part. Supports did generate in these little lines, and I couldn't get all of the supports out, so I might have to use a heat gun, then pull it out. That's not a big problem though. So I'm gonna sand it, start 120 grit, and probably going up. Since I am using shine spray prints, it's gonna reveal a lot more ley lines, so I'll probably go up to like 800, and then I'll stop. So I'm gonna sand, prime, that's gonna fill in the layer lines, sand the little top bits of the layer lines that are still showing, and then after I have some really nice paints that I'm gonna use. And yeah, I'm really excited to build this thing. So I was actually wrong. I apologize. It isn't 10 by 2 magnets. I thought it was. It's actually 8 by 2 magnets. Figured that out. And this is actually designed really well. The first magnet I put in, I used super glue, Gorilla Glue, and I later found that you don't actually need it, and it's just friction fit. So I just use pliers for this. It just makes it a lot easier. And yeah, just put it in, and it works really well. And the best thing about that is, even if it does fall out, I can just Gorilla Glue that in there. But I tested it, and it's actually really secure. That's sick. Wow. So now we are going to smooth everything out. As I said before, there's still a little bit of support material in these little lines, but I'll use a heat gun and I'll clean that up. Then we can paint it and look really good. And it fits me pretty well. So I'm in my little workstation, and right now we're just gonna go into post-processing and make this 3D printed thing not look 3D printed. So you can see the layer lines. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at like 120 sandpaper, and I'm gonna spray with primer. I'm probably gonna use mostly this primer because it's pretty cheap. It's like 20 bucks, and a very good primer, and very expensive too, is this Philip primer. Now I recommend this primer for budget, but if you want to make things easier, use this primer. And make sure you get the red one, and not its great counterpart. And I'm probably gonna do sand with 120 grit. I'm gonna hit the big spots like this, like all these pieces, the really big pieces, with this my mouth sounder. I'll start at 120 grit. This is pretty cheap. You can get it for like 40 bucks. I think even lower, like 30. And once I have that, I spray with primer. And then you're gonna want to do 220. And I wet sand, which is basically like, I have the sandpaper. And I'm sanding. You're gonna notice that it kind of fills in. And with primer, it clogs up like even worse. So what I do is I get a little bin of water, or you can use some running water, and I just sand a little bit. I sand the primed piece with 220 grit, and then I dip it in the water, and it just clears and it gets all the little gum out in the primer out. And it makes your pieces last a lot longer, your sandpaper, because when it gets clogged, it's just not gonna work anymore. So yeah, you want to wet set 220 grit, and you want to repeat this, prime sand, and I'm probably gonna go over to like 600 grit. I could go to like thousands if I really wanted to, but yeah. I have some really great pens. I'll talk about the paints later. But yeah, I'm gonna start sanding it. I just applied the primer. It looks pretty good. There's still some, it's kind of hard to show it, but there's like little faint layer lines. There's also, my printer did some weird stuff at this area. There's like a line and it kind of shifted just a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I have Bondo Spot Putty. Recommend this stuff. It's like, got this for $18, so it's kind of expensive. But I'm gonna fill that in. I'm gonna use some 400 sandpaper and just very lightly sand that off. And it's gonna go over here, so I'm gonna have to etch back the detail. But that won't be hard. Love this stuff. It's basically just like a thick primer, but you don't have spray. But it's just like putty. So I'm also just gonna apply it to this little top ringing bit. You'll find this a lot in helmets. And so I'm gonna do this off screen, but you know that I did that. So I have applied another coat of primer, and it looks really good. I'm gonna add this spray paint to it, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a really nice metallic shine. This turned out so good. I'm going to use a zebra pen and just draw in those lines, because I looked at some reference images and it did have black lines in it. So I'm gonna do that. You may have noticed this bit is a bit messed up. There's this weird thing with the primer, and yeah, and I was trying to do it for like the whole day and trying to fix it, and I just left it be. It doesn't look too bad. My plan is I'll make a new one after this video comes out. I'm gonna make it all shiny and new and really great, and I'm probably gonna make this faceplate weathered and battle damaged, and yeah, that would be really cool, and I could display the battle damaged one. So that's my plan. But since I do need to post this video because it was a request from someone quick, I will just keep this faceplate. And I have painted the little lines, and I have painted the little eyepiece, or the thing that holds the eyepiece. I didn't actually use the zebra pen because it was kind of too thick and it didn't reach the bottom of it. So I moved on and used this paint. And I used a big brush for this part, because if you look at some reference images, this is like the biggest part and you really notice the black there. And for the little lines, I used this really tiny brush. And I think I should have used a smaller brush because it isn't the best. It's kind of big. And I didn't do the best job. This was my first time using this paint. But from afar, it's fine. And for ice piece, I use this gloss black, which is really looks like this, and this is the same because they're both glossy. So yeah, I will, for the eye piece, I will hot glue this in. I'm not gonna like weld it or anything because I might want to take this out because it could break, or I might just like switch to a different type of eye. So I'm just gonna hot glue this in so it's not permanent. And I really don't have to sand this too much. Spent like 3 minutes sanding this. It's really nice. Took a break from sanding. And yeah, so now I'm gonna work on the other pieces. Sand the other pieces, paint them, and I won't show you the sanding, but I'll talk about the paints later. Alright, so the finished paint is done. I had to put a bunch of Bondo Spot putty on because there were layer lines like here, here, over here. So it wasn't just this intersection. And this is the paints I'm gonna use. I'm gonna hit with the base coat, this Ursuline. Then I'm gonna hit it with this metallic metal cast dupe color, and I'm gonna spray this on there, and this red color. I'm gonna very lightly dust it. Go out, wait a few minutes, like 5 minutes. Hit this again, lightly dust it until you just barely see it, and then you do that again and again and again until it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. Frankly Built made a really good video. I'm gonna put that up here, so go check out this video if you want to have some more information, because I don't want to spend too long in the video because it's already becoming really long. But I'm gonna use these paints and the jaw I have over here. I'm still in post-processing, and it's very rough here. I think it's the sports that did this, so I'm gonna have to put the Bondo Spot putty also here. I think it's manageable though. And yeah, we'll start. I'll finish painting, and then I'll show you and then I'll get the brush again. I'll probably do all these bits. And I have a Rome pen. I got this at Amazon. And I'm gonna paint it on here and here. Then I have another bit that I printed silver here. So I'm gonna do, this is really nice. I highly recommend it for any projects. It's this chrome, and anything you just put it down and it lays down really nice. I use it for the sword. So yeah, I'll show you the finishing result. Okay, so the helmet is printed. Fit me really nicely. I really love how it turned out. I think this is one of my favorite helmets I've built. I'll just talk about it for a little bit. This thing was printed separately. I painted this with a chrome or silver spray paint, and I'll show you that later. Or I think I already showed that. And this, I just used these chrome pens and I painted on. It's not the best, but it's okay. And I used just paint, colored everything, and I think it came out really good. I didn't really have to do it. It would have looked just like fine if I didn't paint it, but I think it just made it just a little bit extra better. The eye pieces and the LEDs that are not really LEDs are painted this aqua turquoise. I don't really know, but I think it came out pretty good. Just one thing with the lens, I have experience with these mesh lenses. If you prime it and you paint it a little over the top, you can fill in the holes, and it doesn't like block your vision that much. It just looks, you can like, there's a bunch of uniform holes in specific areas, and there's gonna be like clogs basically. And I did that. I learned that with my Blue Beetle helmet. It was very similar to this. It magnetized the same way, and it had the same mesh eyes and stuff. So if you want to see that, check out one of my shorts. Thank you, commenter, for suggesting this. I didn't really know what helmet you were talking about, so I did create a poll, there was 4 votes, and 2 of them were this helmet, and the other 2 was the Mark 1, the original helmet in Iron Man 1. So I just went ahead and did this one. I might do the Mark 1 later. Comment down below if you want me to see do that, or if you just want me to make another helmet. And I could have shown it a little bit more love with the post-processing. I think it turned out fine. You really have to be careful, as I said, with this with these glossy or shiny paints, because they do reveal layer lines a lot more than just matte or just normal paints. So do be careful of that. It fits really well. I thought that the edge was more like this way, so you had to open it and you close the magnets, and then you can't just put it on just normally. You have to open it up, put your head through it, and close it. One of my favorite helmets I think I made. There's little imperfections here, but yeah, comment down below if you want me to see anything. If you want me to see me make anything. That's about the end of the video. Sorry it was a little bit long, but I wanted to put as much information as possible. Again, check out Frankly Build's video. It's really good tutorial about these kind of paints. Check that out. Really nice helmet, nice and magnetized. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any questions, comment on any of my videos. I will happily clarify anything if I didn't explain it fully. But yeah, thank you for watching.